As you say, in 18 counts here in the indictment, I went through all of the documents. They really sort of relate to that mishandling and communicating of top secret documents. So I'd really like to zoom in on one part of the court documents here, because it kind of gives us a sense of some of the history of the case and some of the evidence that the government appears to have. And it alleges that while Bolton was serving in the administration, he regularly wrote diary-like entries. I believe we actually have this passage here. It's about 11 in the indictment. And it says that he wrote these diary-like entries and shared them with two people. Sometimes they were transcribed into documents and sent electronically, and sometimes he just sort of allegedly sent emails from his personal AOL and Google accounts. Now, obviously, Ian, those are not secure government channels. The indictment also alleges that sometime between when Bolton left the government, which was, if you go back, that was September of 2019, and then July of 2021, a hacker who is believed to be aligned with Iran got into Bolton's personal email and was able to access some of that national defense information, which included the classified information alleged to have been passed along in Bolton's notes. And it alleges that Bolton's people notified the government about that hack when they learned about it, but allegedly, they didn't talk about the potential of national defense and classified information being scooped up in that hack. And that, of course, is a very serious allegation, particularly for somebody like a national security advisor who is supposed to know how to handle classified information. In a statement that we received tonight from John Bolton, I can tell you that he says, "For 4 decades, I have devoted my life to America's foreign policy and national security. I would never compromise those goals. I tried to do that during my tenure in the first Trump administration, but resigned when it became impossible to do so. Donald Trump's retribution against me began then." He goes on to talk about he has become the latest target in the weaponization of the Justice Department, and to say that he looks forward to defending himself, what he describes as his lawful conduct, and to expose Donald Trump's abuse of power.
And Katie, what's been the reaction so far?
Well, among the first to react was Bolton's former boss, President Donald Trump. Here is that moment that's just this afternoon after the news broke.
I didn't know that. You told me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but it's the way it goes.
Have you reviewed the case against him?
That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I just think he's a bad person.
So this case is a little different than some of the recent cases brought against other perceived Trump foes. There does appear to be, just going through the indictment, a little more meat on the bone here in these court documents. Also, this sort of case stretched through the Biden administration as well. And you just compare the size of the indictments here. This is many pages, sort of a lot of evidence laid out in a lot of sort of allegations. Whereas you look at what James Comey, Letitia James, those documents, very thin gruel compared to these allegations, just a few pages. But the same question hangs over this Bolton indictment as the Comey and the James indictment here, and that whether or not this is going to be considered to be a case of vindictive prosecution. Could this be used as a lever to have some of this dismissed? After all, the president has been very vocal about how he feels about Bolton. He was a man who, he once lavished praise on way back in 2018 before things turned sour, and of course, before John Bolton wrote that book, an expose of his time in the Trump administration.
It must be a very anxious time for people who are political opponents and enemies of Donald Trump. CBC's Katie Nicholson live in Toronto. Thank you.
You're welcome.